And hello, everyone. Welcome to another power scanning session. It is March 29. Spring has officially started. And once again, we will be on the lookout today for the most promising setups for the week ahead. Also, I am greeting you guys today from Sao Paulo in Brazil. I came down here on Thursday, landed on Friday. And we're going to attend a wedding later on. Today, I'm going to spend a couple of days, perhaps weeks in Brazil. So let me ask you guys the question. Where are you calling in from? Who do we have in the room today? So we have John from Texas. Hey, John, how's it going? Please put your location into the Q&A box. Who else do we have in the room today? And I can see we do have a fully packed webinar room. Werner from Frankfurt, Germany. Hey, Werner, how are you? Gerd from Coesfeld, Germany. Aubrey from Cyprus. Yeah, Sunshine Island. Nice. Ed from Virginia. Hey, Ed, how's it going? Thomas from Black Forest, Germany. Hi, Thomas. Another Thomas from Heiligenstadt, also Germany. Udo from Germany. Wow, so many Germans today. Art from Maryland. Frederick, Maryland, USA. Stephen from Montreal. How's Montreal? It's supposed to snow today, isn't it? That's what I heard, at least. Stephanie from Quebec. Hey, Stephanie, how are you? David from Delaware, windy Delaware. And Stephen says, yes, it's snowing. Yeah, it's not snowing here in Sao Paulo. I'm telling you this. All right. Udo from Osnabrück. We had. All right, perfect. Okay, guys. So thank you so much for sharing your location. Let's get started. All right. So, we are, of course, at tradingindicators.com. My name is Daniel Sinek. I'm the guy here on the left-hand side. And as you may know, Trading Indicators is nearing its 10 years anniversary. And together with FOMA, here in the middle, we have created Trading Indicators with the objective to create insightful and useful trading tools. Mostly trading indicators, but also scanners and dashboards, such as the Liquidity View dashboard, and which we're going to use today to find the most interesting setups for the week ahead. And of course, we also have Niklas on board here at Trading Indicators. He will be manning the chat window. So if you guys have any questions, please put your questions into the Q&A box, and Niklas will bring these to my attention as we proceed through today's scanning session. All right, guys, so please don't hold back. Please try to make this session your own. All right, so also a quick reminder, of course, that trading stocks and Forex and options and CFDs and futures and so forth does contain risk, and therefore is not suited for every investor. If you trade, make sure to only use risk capital, which is money that you actually can afford to lose. When it comes to backtest performance or hypothetical performance, keep in mind that this is not necessarily indicative of future performance, and any trade ideas and strategies discussed in this webinar should not be construed as trade advice. These are for educational purposes only. All right, so with this out of the way, let's get into it. And a couple of housekeeping items, like real quick. First off, if you have not watched our bootcamp yet, where we discuss the many features of our Liquidity View dashboard, please have a look at it. The recording is available at tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. And Niklas, please put this link also into the chat box. So tradingindicators.com/bootcamp. Also, our Discord channel, our beloved Discord channel. If you have not joined it yet, please join it. Simply go to tradingindicators.com/discord for your free invitation to join our Discord channel. And in there, you see for sure interesting trading talk throughout the week, and perhaps most important, not most importantly, but also important, our trade alerts, where we have alerts for the daily time frame, for the hourly, for the 50-minute, and the 5-minute time frame. So no matter what trader you are, day trader, swing trader, investor, you will find something of interest in our Discord channel. All right, so that's Discord, but let's move on to the actual dashboard. So what we're going to do today is we are going to use our dashboard to find interesting setups. And guess what? It is best if you would follow along live, meaning you do the same steps on the dashboard that I will be doing here to find our trade ideas. So you can do this even if you have not subscribed yet by signing up for a 1-week trial of our dashboard. Simply go to tradingindicators.com/view to sign up for this 1-week trial, and you will get instant access This will take perhaps a minute, maybe 30 seconds to get access to set your credentials. Then you can log into the dashboard and you can follow along. So tradingindicators.com/view. And this link should also be in the chat window. All right. And last but not least, check out our ebook called The Power of Three to learn about the most relevant setups that we typically scan for. Our zone break setup, our Nicholas to the rescue. Is there a problem with my audio, Nicholas?
No, I think it might just been a comment in reference to when I came onto the team before when you were talking about the team.
Oh, got it. Okay, perfect. Okay, I thought it was I thought you took over and you couldn't hear me anymore because my audio broke off. Okay, anyways, so the Power of Three ebook, here's the link. And Nicholas will also put this link into the chat box. All right, so now let's move on and let's use our dashboard to find the most interesting trade ideas for the next weekend. Perhaps always keep in mind that this dashboard is a live product, meaning we constantly trying to enhance it to bring in new features which will help you find more interesting stocks, perhaps stocks which are more aligned with your trading style. So if you have any feedback, guys, please don't hold back. Put them into the Q&A box or send them to me by email or to us by email, and we're gonna take these into consideration for the next version of our dashboard. All right, so let's get started with the market review. Okay, so I'm gonna move over to the dashboard right here. Let me just make this a little bit more aligned. There we go. Okay, so what has happened in the markets? Well, I don't want to toot my own horn. I don't like to do this, but kind of everything we discussed last week has happened. What do I mean by this? Actually, let me go to the SPY real quick. You will see in a second what I mean. All right. So as soon as this opens, look what we predicted last week. Do you see these lines here? We said, hey, this bigger correction, the bearish correction since the all-time highs in the SPY, which resulted in a break of our support zone and a continuation of the bearish move. Then we had the bounce up, and where did it go to? Exactly to the broken support zone. And then what happened? A move further downwards. This is our classic zone break retrace setup. And we said, hey, if this zone is holding, this support zone, this former support zone, now acting as resistance, we may see another leg down. So down. So this was initial down move, then a correction within this bearish correction to the upside, and then a continuation. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. And exactly this seems to be, of course, there's no guarantees, but seems to be unfolding right now, especially with the bearish price action since Wednesday in the markets. Yeah. Big move down. If this swing low here, this low here at 549, 550 is not holding up next week, I believe we're going to see another leg further down with a target around this level here, this support level here at 510, around 510. So yeah, it's a clean technical setup. Of course, we all had hopes that, hey, the market will recover. We're going to go above this former support level now acting as resistance and perhaps attempting all-time highs. But hey, sometimes it's not like this. So this, from a technical point of view, this is classic zone break retrace and one of our high probability setups. And there's a good chance that we're going to see another leg further down because typically after this initial fake out of the market, yeah, initially going up exactly to this level here, we will see another leg further down. All right, perfect. Okay, so Nicholas, are there any questions? And give me like 1 second, guys. I'm going to be right back. Nicholas, are there any questions? Please ask them right now because I need to quickly.
Sure, I'm checking. So we have a question from John. He says, Daniel, if SPY closes below the previous low, is it officially in a bear market?
Well, no, I don't think so. We are still in a bullish market, and this will probably not even change when we go even to this level here, because Mirage has been bullish for a long time, and I believe this is just going to be a deeper correction. I don't think it's going to be a bear market. I think we're probably going to stop at some point, and then this bullish trend will resume. So I would not think so. Yeah.
And one other
Nicholas,
question.
perhaps cover this question real quick. I need to take a quick. Give me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Okay. Sorry.
Yep. Okay, guys. So Daniel will be back in about 30 seconds. He's in Brazil there. He might be fixing something with the internet or something like that. So we have a question from Guatam. I bought Liquidity IQ and MA Rush a few months ago. I need help with more training to use it in real time. So Gautam, please, I'm going to reply to you. Actually, I'll put my email in chat. You can email me directly at nj@tradingindicators.com, and I'll get back to you with all of the resources we have. So we have multiple classes and old live trading sessions using those indicators. I think they'll be really helpful. So I'm putting my email in the chat. And checking for more questions. How far back does the data analyze? So currently the dashboard database, I think it goes back about 7 or 8 years where the data is available. So back to about 2016, 2017 is how far the scanner looks back. Hi, Steven. Yeah, Daniel works closely actually with Jeff Tompkins at Altos quite a few times on quite a few different projects too, and they've been together at different conferences and events. So maybe that's where you recognize him from.
And I'm back. Sorry, guys. Oh my God.
Perfect. Hey,
I
Daniel.
don't know. I don't know what's happening today. It was the same in my previous webinar. I had a webinar with our friends of CapTrader right before this, and there was also like a technical glitch, and people kept calling me and emergency, whatever. But as it turned out, everything is good. So I'm back now. So let's continue with our market review. Thanks for covering, Nicholas.
Pleasure,
Awesome.
sweet.
Okay.
And so what you missed, I'll just get you back up
Yeah.
to speed. Is Steven said, "Hey, deja vu. He couldn't remember where he recognizes you from, Daniel, and he asked if you worked with Jeff Tompkins at Altos."
Oh yeah.
So I said, "Yeah, of course." And
Yeah. Jeff is a good
then
friend of us. Yep.
yeah, and then VM Holdings says yesterday NQ tanked. How do we identify liquidity like the one we have yesterday? How do we identify the liquidity? Oh,
Yeah.
I
Let's have a
think
look at.
maybe the question is like, how could we tell that that would have been such a big day yesterday?
Well, in this particular day, so this is not day trading we're doing here. We're looking at swing trading setups. That's more a question for our day trading version of our indicators, where you look at smaller time frames. And in fact, we actually called out quite a few trades yesterday, Nicholas, if I'm not mistaken, on our Discord channel, calling out some of these setups. But about, of
Yeah,
course, applied our
we
indicators.
expected it was going to drop to like where it did. We expected it wasn't going to stop around 20,000, or I think it was 19,600. We expected we were going to go
Mhm.
lower to maybe 300 to 400, which we did.
Yeah, exactly. So this was actually the closing minutes or hours of the market. Actually, Nicholas, you called out this trade from a day trading point of view. We already felt quite a bit that we broke below this tier 2 zone, this big zone of control. When this happens, oftentimes we see a follow through in that direction. You can see it here. Yeah, and a huge lag further down. So yeah, this is a question more for the day trading timeframes. So today's objective are more from a swing trading point of view. Okay. All right. So, but let's look at the QQQs. What's going on here from a swing trading point of view? It's very similar to what we saw on the SPYs. You can see it here. We retrace down to this level. What is correction happened here to the bearish side? Then a bullish correction within this bearish correction. Of course, this can happen towards this broken support level, now acting as resistance, and then the lag further down. So once again, also here, zone break, retrace to the bearish side. Classic setup that we see over and over again. And should we lose this price level here, this swing low around the 467 area, I think the next stop here is going to be 421 to 422 around this support level. So that's a good chance. Should we lose this level, we're going to go all the way down. All right. So that was the QQQ. What about the IWM, the Russell? So Russell was different. So here we had like zone break retrace. We broke below, or for the, let's real quick to contrast this. So in our the Nasdaq, for example, we broke below support, and then we had an initial follow through. You can see it here. Support was broken. this level here, this reddish line, broken, and it should follow through, retrace and back to it, and then another leg further down. So that's a technical setup, which is very valid. In the Russell, however, the situation is a bit different from a technical point of view. Why? Let's have a look. So in the Russell here, you see that, we actually came down to this key support level back on March 13 or March 14. So price, we went all the way down here. This support held. And we bounced off support as our bounce setup. And now price is making another attempt at this level. And, this is just my feeling, I think we may see another bounce off this level. I'm saying this because the Russell has started its downwards move much earlier than the SPY and the QQQ. It's already corrected quite a bit in this, uptrend. It's an uptrend, but it's a huge correction. So I have a feeling that this level may hold. It held here at this big move down, price bounced up. I think there's some evidence that, hey, we're going to see another bounce off this level in the next week or weeks to come. Well, of course, I don't have a glass ball, but at least this is my feeling that, hey, we're making another attempt. This is support which has held up every single time so far. And, why not and yet another time? So we're going to see what's happening with the Russell. All right, so gold. Oh boy, gold. My problem is that I'm so timid with my entries, and I'm waiting and waiting. So you see this little line here? This is not line, this rectangle. Oops, 1 second. This one here. This is what I said. Hey, let's wait until gold gets to this level and then go long. Yeah, this is what a very conservative entry would have been. It didn't come. Our price did not get quite to this level, and then it flew off. What a missed opportunity it was. Now, once again, last week I said, hey, it's an interesting long setup right now at this point. Why? Because we closed that gap. Look, this was a gap from here to here. This gap was closed last week. So this is done. Our gap's been closed, and nothing really is holding our prices back now. And then exactly this happened, but gold just another move further up. It's on the tear to the bullish side. Once again, a bit of a gap here. I would wait for another correction, perhaps maybe fill this gap. It probably will be filled over the next weeks, and then perhaps enter in the long direction. Sorry, so this was gold. What about oil? USO. So oil has been sideways forever. Yeah, we discuss this every single time. Oil has been sideways for the last couple of years. If you will, you can see this channel is kind of converging a little bit. Of course, no, it's very little, but it's getting a bit narrower. And of course, with a converging channel, the question is, to which direction will price break out? Because once we leave this channel, I think there will be a big follow through either to the upside or the downside, depending on how we leave this channel. Right now, we're kind of stuck exactly in the middle. Prices here in between this intermediate support level, this one here, and this resistance level. An interesting setup. It's our classic magnet zone, but price is stuck in the middle between these two levels. And, one may speculate, perhaps, hey, price is going to move in the near future because these zones tend to have magnetic properties, but we don't know which one. So perhaps an option strangle trade might not be the worst idea. Speculating that, hey, price the next weeks or months to come will either hit our 79 area or the level down here at around 70 or 69. Perhaps something to think about. Okay, so that was this. What else did we have? Oh, yes. I wanted to have a quick look at the symbols we discussed last week on March 22nd. This was our watch list. And as you will see, we actually, despite the market being so bearish in the last couple of days, our stocks, our picks actually did quite well. For example, ABT, Abbott Laboratories. Once again, I mean, this is my own conservative mindset. I wanted to wait until price goes a bit further down, but this was a beautiful zone break retrace setup, and look how this bounce worked out afterwards. So, from a technical point of view, it was spot on. Just German stock here, Hannover Rück. Similar setup, zone break retrace, yeah, up, down, up. Again, my entry area was not hit, but the technical setup worked out beautifully. Yeah, Kroger. This one also, I believe it was another zone break retrace. Yeah, here we hit our area. Another move further up. You can see these these setups, they work despite the fact that the market was so bearish in the last 3 days. These setup actually, they moved up. These stocks moved up exactly as predicted. And this is encouraging because thankfully not everything is correlated. Yeah, it doesn't mean that the SPY is going down. All the stocks need to go down. Of course not. Yeah, it's a how did the option professor once put it? It's not a stock market, it's a market of stocks, meaning every stock has its own personality, its own criteria, and their own technical setup. And thank God for that, because this means we have so many different options to diversify and to find interesting trade ideas. All right. So yeah, it worked out quite nicely last week with our setups. And of course, this week we are going to attempt the same thing. So let's find the most interesting setups for the next week ahead. So I'm going to quickly go back to my slides. And by their very nature, most of the setups that we're going to find will be high reward and low risk, meaning we're going to use a fairly tight stop loss, and which typically is outpaced by what we can gain on that particular trade.
You still there, Daniel?
What are these setups? Well, the first one is called our healthy pullback with a bounce setup. It's a combination of these two things. What does that mean? Well, a healthy pullback is something which we can see over and over again. Yeah, every trend move has these pullbacks. There's no such trend which goes up in a straight line. Would be nice, but that's not the case. In every single trend move, we see these little corrections along the way. This is what we call pullbacks. When these pullbacks happen, this could be an opportunity for us because we're going to get into this trend move at a much better price with less risk on the table because our stop loss will be nearby. So it's interesting. But this can be further amplified with the fact that, hey, if this pullback coincides with a key support level. Okay, this is our bounce setup. This is why we like to combine these two setups because they make so much sense. So our bounce setup is a setup where price actually gets to the proximity of a key support level. Yeah, and where we can speculate, hey, price is will not break the support level, but instead will bounce off this level. And the odds for this can be further increased if we only consider stocks which are bullish to begin with. Now, this will increase your chances that, hey, we're actually going to see a bounce off this support level. Okay, so let's go to our dashboard and see which of our setups fulfill these criteria. All right, so I'm going to clean out, I'm going to go back to our end of day scanner, which currently tracks around 5,000 stocks. We're planning to add way more than this in the near future. And let's enter our criteria. So the first one is you want to see a pullback. So I'm going to just to make sure we can see our pullback column here. 1 second. I'm just going to disable a couple of columns so we can see everything that's relevant for this particular scan right now. All right. So real quick. All right. This is perfect. All right. So we are looking for stocks which are trending up. So Rush should be bullish. Perfect. So criteria number 1 is entered. We're down to only 2,500 stocks. Criteria number 2 is we want stocks which are currently pulling back. We have different degrees of pullbacks. I can see it here, level 1, level 2, 3, or 4, both for the bullish and the bearish side. In our case, let's go for the deepest pullback, a level 4 pullback. This one here. So I click on it, and now we can see only stocks which have a level 4 pullback within an uptrend. So if you go to any of these examples, here, for example, to Get X Corp. Oops, wrong button. This one here, and we open it up, we should see a stock which is fairly bullish, but recently pulled back a little bit. You can see it here. Yeah, it's a stock which is bullish. If you go back, so it's going up for sure. take my word from it. It's bullish. And but recently we have been retracing a bit. Look at this. Price came down a little bit. That's a level 4 pullback. The four columns here in MA Rush, sorry, in Trend Radar, these are all red. That's a level 4 pullback. This is what we're waiting for. Okay, so that's our second criteria. And the third criteria is, hey, we want to have this coincide with a key support level. Or we're going to use our Liquidity IQ setup column for this and select long bounce. All right, we can see now, hey, we are down to only 16 stocks which fulfill all these criteria. So let's check out what we see here. All right, first one, sorry, NBN, Northeast Banking. And in fact, you may remember this one from our trade of the week. When was that, Nicholas? Was it this Tuesday or last month? I forget. But yeah, we called out the stock. Hey, we were near this support level. This could be an interesting candidate for a bounce.
That was
price initially 2 weeks ago, yeah. So price initially went up, and now it's retracing it back down. And I think we can potentially do the same thing once again. Rinse and repeat. We're back down to the support level, and perhaps, anticipate another move further up. So I'm going to add this one once again to our watch list. And let me just quickly see what we had as a trade note 2 weeks. Oh, no, this was last week, I guess. Whatever it was. Yeah. So this was our trade note then. It is still relevant today. So I'm going to add this one once again to our watch list. Let me just quickly create a watch list. Okay. Setups, colon 2025-03-29. All right, create. And we're going to add this stock to our watch list. Done. All right. Next one. SNA, Snap on Inc. Also, this one we called it out a while back. When was that? So also here we are trading near this support level. Let me just quickly see when we discussed this one. Oh, on Feb 22nd we had it. Yeah, at a similar price level here at 335. Yeah, we called out a bounce here, and price did initially go up. Now we're back once again at this key support level. But yeah, definitely an interesting candidate, especially since we're considering this is a long-term uptrend. What I don't really like too much about it is that we broke it previously before. So this consolidation, which is very normal after such a parabolic move here to the upside, we're going to see a lengthy consolidation. And in fact, in this case, a very messy one. Price has been alternating very drastically between low points and high points. But overall, I think potentially a candidate for another setup today. So I'm going to add this one as well to our watch list. And perhaps one more, XLC, other communications ETF. Yeah, very similar here. The bounce worked out beautifully in the past. We can see it right here. We bounce off this level to the upside towards the middle in between support and resistance. And it's always important to have realistic profit targets, guys. So I would never. Why? Because these consolidations, they can take a long time to play out. The price goes back and forth. So in this case, definitely we had the bounce and price initially moved up, but hopefully if you took that trade, you took some profits as it continued and you perhaps moved your stop further up. But now we're once again back to our support level here. And yeah, it could be rinse and repeat, another bounce scenario here. I would like to see a bit of a bullish day on Monday or Tuesday, just some evidence that, hey, this bounce may happen. I'm just going to plow through this level further to the downside. But if you see a bit of a bullish price action, this could be an interesting one to play to the long side as well. So I'm going to add it as well. And Universal Technical Institute, Inc. in consumer defensive, education and training services. What is this one? This is a stock we haven't looked at yet. I really don't like the gap here. We've discussed gaps a few times now in our webinars. Gaps tend to get filled over time. This one obviously has not been filled yet. We further went up. So it's not off the table. So these gap fills, they can sometimes take months to complete. But we did arrive at this key support level. And I definitely think it's worth a shot for a long setup. But you should do it conservatively because, if we lose this level, I would be almost certain we're going to fill this gap here if we lose it. But hey, if there's some evidence we're going to bounce off, there might be still another leg further up. So let me add this as well to our list. And you can see how easy it is to go through these different setups and prioritize them and sort them so you don't have to go through the entire thing. So yeah, this was our long bounce setup with a pullback. Now, Nicholas, any questions so far?
Just checking the most recent one here. No,
Okay.
we don't have any questions, Daniel.
Perfect. All right. But guys, if you have questions or symbol requests, please don't hold back. Looks like it filled the gap. Okay. All right. Talking about the gap, let me show you one other example before we go to our next setup. Tesla. Oh boy. And yeah, we'll see. Let me pull this up here. What has happened in Tesla? And this is not a swing trading setup at all. It's for much shorter time frame, but I find it interesting. Depending on how the market opens on Monday, I may consider this one for a day trading. From a day trading point of view. Look what happened here. And Tesla is a stock where gap fills are so common. Yeah. And soon, hopefully, we're gonna have an indicator where we actually can prove this statistically how common it is. But it feels like it's like this gap here was filled over time when price went down here. This gap was filled, other gaps were filled as well. Now in Tesla, we have our zone break retrace setup. That's for sure. This resistance zone, which was acting as support, was broken. Price went initially down, went up again, bounced off again, and then prices went down on Friday. Now, do you see this one here? This gap from March 21st, from last Friday, not yesterday, the Friday before, and then Monday when the market opened. It's a small gap, but it's a gap. And I think there's a good chance that this gap will be filled. So depending on how the market opens on Monday, I definitely would, of course, you have to wait until the market opens to see. But if we see some bearish action, maybe an interesting scalp trade could be to go short Tesla in anticipation that this gap will be filled. So just something I found interesting when it came to Tesla. All right. So, but I digress. So back to our next setup for swing trading. Okay, so we discussed bounce. The price might bounce off a support level or a resistance level. But, nothing lasts forever. These levels will not last forever. Eventually, they will be broken. So this brings us to our zone break and zone break retrace setups. Now, once support is broken, we may see a decisive move in the direction of the breakout. And we as traders, of course, can take advantage of this by entering in the direction of the breakout. Now, once again, potentially high reward and low risk setup because our stop loss would just be above the broken support zone, or in case of a long break, just below the broken resistance zone. But there's one caveat, which we call the zone break retrace. Oftentimes the market tries to first fake you out. You can see it here. Went initially up, then retraced back to this level, and then the move really took off. We call this the zone break retrace setup, which in this case is a bullish setup. We would enter long in the direction of the original break with a stop loss just below the broken resistance level, now acting as support. And we anticipate, hey, this move is then really going to take off from this point on. Okay, so how can we find these setups? So back to our dashboard. There we go. Okay, there we go. And here we simply enter long break retrace as our criteria to this column here, to the liquidity IQ setup column. And you'll see something very interesting. So we're scanning 5,000 stocks right now. But as soon as I click long break retrace, look what happens. Down to only 11 symbols from 5,000. See how rare this actual setup is? So let's check it out. What can we see here? And let me focus only on the ones which have a clear trend. So I'm going to also enter Emmy Rush to be bullish. The first one, feeder cattle futures. Now I know if you trade futures, typically you will not swing trade them. It's more like a day trading thing. But look, this interesting setup. So here we had our zone break, and this is a very bullish symbol, bullish for 1,089 days. So here our zone break above this resistance level now acting as support, and now price is retracing down to this level. And this could now act as support and potentially an interesting long entry opportunity into this futures contract. Of course, as mentioned before, these are leveraged products, so maybe too expensive to trade from a swing trading point of view, especially with a small account. But nonetheless, it's a technically very valid setup. All right, so there was that one. The next one is this one here, SMFG. Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group in financial services and banks diversified. And if you haven't used it yet, take advantage of our little info box here. You click on it to read up on what a particular stock is doing. Okay. So this is in the financial industry. It's a Japanese company originally. Let's check it out. So Zonebrick retrace setup. All right. Okay. Ooh, a little gappy for my taste, but definitely here we can see we broke above this resistance level. Price initially went up and now retraced down to this level again. Here, I'm going to add this to our. Oh, I forgot to add this one. Let me add the cattle futures to our list real quick. Here, yeah, we have these little gaps here, but this is a very gappy stock to begin with. So, we talked about Tesla as a stock where gap fills tend to happen quite reliably. This logic would not really apply to a stock like this, where gaps basically happen all the time. Basically, every single daily bar gaps to one direction or the other. It's not such a phenomena for these kind of stocks. It's more for stocks where gaps are quite rare, and then these ones have more value. So here I would not worry too much about the gap fill, but I like this technical setup. Yeah, we broke above it. Price initially went up, and now we retraced back to the broken resistance level. I'm definitely going to add this one as well to our list. All right.
Daniel,
Next one. Yes.
While you're talking about gaps, we have a question from Steven. He says, can you kind of explain why you think gaps tend to get filled? What's the idea behind that?
I have no idea what kind of market psychological phenomena would be the reason for this. I don't know. I don't have an explanation for this, but it's just something that tends to happen for whatever reason. And luckily, we as technical analysts, yeah, we kind of ignore fundamental data almost completely. We don't question why a certain price level holds when it's a support or why this resistance level holds. So it just happens, and this is what we do as technical analysts. So unfortunately, I don't have a fundamental explanation as to why gaps tend to get filled. But in the end, maybe it's some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy because gap trading is a thing that's out there. Many traders believe in it and may trade accordingly. And because we have this mass phenomena, it may then automatically drive price in that direction of the gap fill because traders trade accordingly to that. Perhaps that could be an explanation.
Thanks. And John says, if Tesla fills that gap around 250, so the 250 and 254, what's the logic on it possibly going down to the support level at 225?
Yeah, let's have a quick look at Tesla. I'm going to go back to my retrace setup in a second. Tesla. There we go. Yeah, I mean, classic Zonebrick retrace. I mean, I I don't know what's gonna happen, but it feels like that. What if this is the classic Zonebrick retrace where we have the Zonebrick market initially fakes you out, goes back up to the broken level, Zonebrick retrace, and then sorry, the move really continues. That's a distinct possibility from a technical point of view. Just if you look at the slides here, where do we have it? Oops. Yeah. Look, Zonebrick retrace to the broken level, and then the move really continues or really kicks off. It's possible. And if this happens, I think we're going to see another big move down. The next logical level afterwards, if we lose this one, because we have to see, would be around 138, 140.
Thanks, Daniel. And one last one here. We have a question. What does greater than 5, greater than 10 mean? So I think maybe you have this as a setting somewhere in the dashboard, perhaps.
Oh, greater than 5.
Greater than 5, greater. Oh, I think something you must have something between
here.
5 and 10. There we go.
Maybe here for our MA Rush trend settings. Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. So, for example, we can scan for stocks which are bullish or bearish. Just they just need to be trending in that direction. That's a very generic filter, which we'll find a lot of stocks. Let's see, all bullish stocks. We have 2,500 bullish stocks, and if you go to bearish, here we have 2,100 bearish stocks. Okay, so that's good. But we can also be more precise. For example, we can scan for setup. Say, did the trend just recently change? We click here on bull signal, and we find one stock where we just had a trend change from bearish to bullish. It's this one here, PRTG. I don't know what this stock does. It's in biotechnology. Yeah, we had this huge candle up, and you can see here that's a bull label. Yeah, something that obviously happened here from a fundamental point of view. This stock went up, and we changed trend. And just one caveat here: this is, of course, was not rehearsed. Look where this move to the upside stopped. This gap. What is it? This candle at this resistance level, which we knew about all the way back here in January 2025. Like months ago, we knew about this key level, and the price just magically stopped at this level. That's something that's quite fascinating. Okay, so this is what this one does here, the bull signal, where the trend change needs to have happened on the very last bar. But maybe that's too stringent. Maybe you want to see stocks where the trend change happened within the last 10 bars, or within the last 50 bars, or 100 bars. And this is where this comes in here. So if I go for buy signal, within the last 10 bars, we can see, for example, this one here, AMT, American Tower Corp. The trend change happened 9 bars ago. Okay, this is how you can find these kind of stocks which recently had a change in sentiment from bullish to bearish or vice versa. Cool. Anything else? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we can go forward. We'll get to those other questions after.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me go back to my zone break retrace setup. As mentioned, there's only a handful of stocks which qualified for it. We had feeder cattle futures, then we had the financial firm from Japan, and then here Interdigital Inc. is the next one in our list. So let's see what's happening here. Oh, that's a wild stock with a big gap here. Not my favorite. I'm probably not gonna recommend use this as a trade idea. It's too volatile. Look at these huge bars where they open. But we are once again after the zone break near this resistance level. And the idea would be also here, potentially we will see another leg further, but this is just too gappy for me. I'm gonna skip this one. DWM, Wisdom Tree International Equity Fund. All right. That's a bit cleaner. Let me just see what's happening here. Yeah, we finally broke above this key resistance level. You can see a price then went down again after this break. It tended to fill this gap. It didn't really make it, this gap here. Then up again and now back in the soup here at this resistance level. Yeah, could be an interesting one for another leg further up. Potentially we're going to see a gap full of this bar here. So I would put my stop maybe here at the 56 or 55 area, a wider stop. But overall, this is a bullish stock which currently corrected. We may see another leg further to the upside. So I'm going to add this one as well to our list. And hopefully you can see how easy it is with our dashboard to identify these candidates. All right. Okay, so let's see, what do we have in our watch list? Which stocks did we find? So I'm going to click on it. We have 7 different symbols, and let's just go through them one by one and qualify them a bit further. Okay, so Snap on Inc. So let's see what's happening here. This is our stock which just came off a support level. As this loads, let's have a look. And we are right at the support level. I think I'm going to skip this one. And you know why? Because this level didn't hold in the fast. So we broke below it. This weakens this level. And, let me just quickly see where we came from. This was a steep move up. I have a feeling this correction will keep on going. Maybe even going to go all the way down towards this level here to fill this gap. So I'm going to stay on the sidelines. It's just because this level was broken. I don't have that much confidence that it will hold up moving forward. So I'm going to skip this one. Northeast Bank. All right. Our trade of the week from recently. Yeah. Okay. What do we have here? Yeah, I still like it. I'm going to put this on our hot list. I think this level has been tested in the past. It held up nicely, more or less. So I think there's a good chance that we may see a bounce off this level to the upside. So I'm going to add a trade note here. what we can see here, once I open up the trade notes, I see the one from March 22nd. All right. And before this, we had it on March 8th. Wow. Yeah, quite a few times. So March 22nd, we're going to add a new one with today's timestamp, March 29. I'm just going to add our screenshot to our trade notes. And it's always cool to see, hey, what was I thinking back in the day? Yeah, here we obviously consider this one as our potential trade in our live scanning session. All right, close it. Okay, XLC, the communications ETF. All right. Yeah, we had a big, nice bounce, a juicy bounce off this support level, which held up very nicely. In the past, of course, we did have this gap, which was not filled yet here. We aren't talking about gaps too much, but it's just a warning sign that we may see this gap to be filled, especially if the SPY, the superordinate index, SPX, will lose the low from a couple of weeks ago. We may see further downside action here. So here, I'm going to add it to our trade notes, but I really want to see a bullish bar on Monday or some bullish indication that, hey, this bounce is actually happening. Because if not, maybe we're going to lose this level and we'll see another leg further down. So let me just, put a little trade note here. Here, 1 second. All right, so wait for bullish indication. All right, something like that. Little trade note. So we know, hey, we're gonna wait. Indication. It's hard to see on my tiny screen here. Indication. All right, perfect. Okay, good. Can I move this thing? No. Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm gonna add this one also to our trade notes. Create a new trade note here with today's timestamp on March 29. And the cool thing about the trade notes, of course, is that all the annotations of your chart, they will be kept in your trade notes. Yeah? So, of course, we don't have too much time during these webinars to really annotate the chart, but I encourage you, keeping a kind of logbook is super important. And this clarifies your thoughts too. Because you may forget, hey, what happened to this chart? Oh, well, here we see, okay, we have a bounce set up. It is a bullish stock. But of course, it's correlated somehow to the SPY, the superordinate index. If that index goes down, maybe this one will as well. We'll drag it further down, and the support may not hold. So we want to wait for some bullish indications first to see if this bounce actually happens. All right, UTI, Universal Technical Institute Inc. Okay, yeah, it's a wild stock. Okay, what does this thing do? 1 second. Education services, transportation, skilled trades, healthcare education programs in the United States. Okay. Phoenix, Florida, Arizona. Okay. Classic US stock. I like it. This support level has held up in the past. I'm going to add it to our trade loads for a bounce from the support level towards the upside. It's a long-term bullish stock, bullish for 408 trading days. Let me just scroll back real quick here to see. Yeah. No, it's quite bullish. So yeah, I'm going to add this one to our trade notes. All right. Perfect. Okay. And one more. Wisdom Tree International Equity Fund. Long break retrace. Okay. So what do we have here? It's a huge move here. So we finally made all-time highs. And the only concern I have with this one here is that these moves, they're huge. Big retracements along the way. We just came off this huge correction now to the upside again. But if you play this conservatively with a high stop loss, it may be worth a shot. I'm going to add this one as well for a zone break retrace trade. So adding this one as well to our watch list. Next one is feeder cattle futures. I'm not going to add this one because we cannot really swing trade futures. It's more like a day trading thing. So but it is a very bullish symbol, bullish for 1,089 trading days. Zone break retrace now, but it's not swing tradable, so we're going to skip this one. And then we have SMFG, our financial corporation from Japan. It's just very gappy. You know what? I'm going to stay on the sidelines of this one too. It is a nice setup in the sense that, hey, we are in somewhat of a steady uptrend here, even though we have these bigger gaps. But here, at the minimum, if I was to play this, I like the fact that it's long-term bullish. I would put my stop loss probably further away, maybe even below this level or the swing low here, just to give it more room because of all these gaps. Uh, you don't want to be stopped out prematurely. You know what? I'm going to add this one too. But let's just remember you want to have a wide stop loss. Nicholas, are there any questions?
Got a couple questions, Daniel. So one from Anonymous, how many Canadian stocks do you cover? And as
Okay.
well as which Canadian exchanges do you have NEO? I think that's an exchange, perhaps. NEO.
We have mostly stocks from the Toronto Exchange. If you put .to into the list, you see, yeah, not too many right now, but we're planning to add many more local stocks to our scanner. We have now all the infrastructure in place, which allows us to do this. So this is something which is going to happen in the near future. Yeah.
And on the watch list stocks, would you use option spreads to add a little insurance in the event the trade doesn't work out?
Yeah,
Or does
that's
that
definitely
depend on the time frame you're looking at?
no, no, absolutely not. So if the symbol is optionable, and you have a liquid options chain and the options are reasonably priced, yeah, it definitely it could be a good alternative to limit your risk. Absolutely. Hmm.
Okay, and then the other ones are symbol requests.
Okay, let's do the symbol request. Yeah,
Sure. So from Ed, it's JP Morgan.
yeah. Alrighty. And so back to our scanner, JPM, JP Morgan Chase and Co. Of course, in financial services. But we knew this. Okay, so bullish for 523 trading days. You can see this directly in the scanner. No setup right now for Liquidity IQ. And yeah, we just came out this key support level. We bounced off nicely. And now, yeah, we just off this bounce move. Let me just see where we came from. Yeah, we had this big move up. I think this consolidation. Look at, did we get the gap fill here? Let me just quickly see. You may think I'm obsessed with gaps today, huh? Let's have a quick look. Did we get the gap fill? Ah, almost. Oh, not. So this case, it didn't work out. Yeah, I could have bet. So this is how you can see that, hey, my gap fill philosophy doesn't always pan out. So if price moving down this way, you could have, I would have been pretty confident, hey, we're gonna at least go to this, the high of this candle here, because that's where the gap started. It didn't quite happen, but you never know. This correction might become a deeper one if we lose the support level. We lost it by a little bit here. We may still see this price coming down further, but right now, I mean, this looks like a very bullish stock. I don't like too much that these swings from highs and lows to getting bigger and bigger. So it's getting more volatile, but of course, due to the market situation, the market conditions. But yeah, it's definitely a bullish stock. So especially with this correction here, if you see it go down a bit further, I think it's a good stock to have, even if you lose the support. And I think in the long run, JP Morgan is one of the yeah, most established banks and um, definitely worthwhile having a bullish outlook on.
Can you please, Daniel, look at SPX?
All the cash index of the
I
uh
I
well,
would think so, yeah.
yeah, it's
Well, I'm not
it's
sure.
called,
I don't s-
what's it called? Yeah, I don't think I have it. Oh, it's this one here, S&P 500 index. It has a different ticker symbol on our dashboard, but it's this one here. Yeah, but it's a similar picture as we saw on the SPY. Zone break retrace. Yeah, classic. Broke the support level, went down, retraced back to the broken support level, now acting as resistance, and then the move further down. And also here, very similar picture. If we lose the swing low, I think the next stop is my drawing is not very pretty, but it doesn't matter. The next stop is going to be all the way down here, just the support level. So yeah, it looks to me from a technical point of view the same as the SPY.
Cool, okay, and that's it for questions. I'm just double checking.
Okay.
But
All
yeah, that's
right.
it for the questions and it for the symbol requests, at least so far.
Okay. Okay, perfect. That's good. Yeah, so it is also yeah, the hour mark. So we completed our scanning session, which is great for me because yeah, I'm quite exhausted after having my second webinar on the row, and the air here in Sao Paulo is so dusty. At least that's what I'm thinking. That's why I'm keep coughing. So I'm gonna take a little break, drink some water, lubricate my throat, and then sorry, then we're gonna be back. Yeah, hopefully with better air quality for our next webinars. Of course, we do have our lunch and learn session scheduled for Tuesday, which will take place as yeah, as always, on Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget about our Discord community to join our Discord channel at tradingindicators.com/Discord. That's in the chat already. And of course, if you want to check our really cool dashboard, Liquidity View, go to tradingindicators.com/view to sign up for a trial for a full week to check it out to see how you can find interesting setups. And you know what? We're doing these scanning sessions every Saturday, but there are so many other setups that you can scan for. And the beauty is that every single day, once the market closes, new stocks will qualify for some of our most interesting setups, and other ones will disqualify. But there's always something going on, not just on the weekends, which makes it so interesting to have. All right, guys, with this, have a nice weekend. And we will talk, yeah, again on Tuesday or perhaps at our next live scanning session next Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Until then, happy trading, trade safe, and talk to you soon. Thanks, Niklas. Bye bye.